this has done
Hmm.
what all of you guys are challenging.
Okay.
He said that she is a creation of the Black Manosphere.
Okay.
All the very talking point that you're challenging
Hmm.
is what he's done several videos
More than
about.
several. More than several. Yeah.
Well, you know,
And
more than
guess what?
several.
And
Several is a
and
lot.
Okay, let me pause this to inform you on what we're watching. We're going to review a live back and forth between leaders in the Black Manosphere. I mean, just sit back and listen. There's a bunch of confusion. It's just a bunch of stuff. Very odd. It's a bunch of stuff. Here we go.
he put himself outside the Black manosphere, and people have talked about it. Okay.
I think he's
So
on the right
and
number.
but I'm trying to get listen.
O'Shea, and Jason Black have talked about it. Okay. The reason I did my video is because we have women that are adjacent, connected to the Black manosphere. That
Listen,
actually put it.
but
Go ahead.
Dennis is more Manosphere adjacent than Jason Black. See, again, what you're doing right now is you're naming
Okay.
a bunch of people who we
Okay.
don't listen to me now, because I
Okay.
listen to you.
All right.
You're naming a bunch of people who we already know are not Black Manosphere. Dennis is definitely Manosphere adjacent, Black Manosphere adjacent. That's not even debatable. No matter how many times he'll get up in these videos and say he ain't, he is. Because he'll say I ain't Black Manosphere, then the next day he'll talk about Black Manosphere shit. Now you've done several videos addressing that exact thing where guys do that, where I'm leaving the Manosphere, and then the next day bitches do this and Black men are going through this and yada yada yada. You've done that, right? I'm talking about you because I watch your shit. What I'm saying is, why is this not addressed, right? And my issue is I think people pick and choose what they want to address and then say the other shit is, oh, it's not worth it based on
You pick
I
your
don't know
battles.
what, right?
You pick your
But
battles.
you say
Yeah,
what?
you pick
I
your
mean,
battles according to what you think is most important at the
it's
time.
I hear
But
you, but
you,
it
I mean,
sounds good on.
it's not you, because you have your own values and your own strategy, right? I'm not you.
I understand. You don't have to do what I'm doing. What
If you,
I'm just pointing.
I'm,
What
I'm explaining to you why I did it. If that's what you want to know, I
I'm,
can't
but
speak for every
I'm not
content
just
creator.
talking about you.
Okay, you have to ask them
Why didn't
why
he
they
make
do it.
a
But
fight?
I'm having a general discussion.
Okay,
Ed is not
yeah,
here, so he can't speak for himself, right?
okay, okay,
You know, if Ed sees this video, if I get with Ed, I'll have a conversation with Ed. But what I'm speaking to is a general thing. It ain't a direct shot towards you,
okay.
even though you might be part of what I'm
Okay,
saying. What I'm saying is,
well, ask me the direct question. Okay, why did I address the women?
but you said
Okay.
you did. So I'm
Hey,
waiting on
you
you to
guys
tell
need to
me.
go off
Well,
track.
ask me why I did. Okay,
Y'all are
instead of
getting
No,
off.
saying,
I've been
okay,
you.
I can't answer two questions at one time. You guys got to break
Y'all
it
are
up.
off
No,
track. Y'all
a
are off
minute ago you said you did address it and you did call them out and you didn't go into detail
We
about that. You started
we
talking
we
about who
we
jumped on
we
the flight.
we actually did address it and why he did it. Okay, and because he's pissed off, there's nothing you can do. He's gonna keep making them, right? All right, we actually did address it. Okay, did we make a separate video about it? Say, oh, Dennis is just jealous of MTR and what's your name? No.
Oh, so I see where you're going now. Okay, so
So
he's
we
jealous
had
and he
several
made
live
several
streams. We had
videos.
several
So
live
what?
streams. Huh? We had several live streams. Okay, okay.
Why didn't he get an invite?
I
No,
don't
fuck
know.
that. No, no, no. Hold on, babe. I don't give a fuck why he didn't get an invite. I want BGS to
Okay.
speak about what he like when you say you called him out. What did I miss? I want to know what I missed. I
And
don't give a fuck about
I
his
just
invite.
told you what you missed. Okay, it was on a live stream because it came up about Dennis Sperling, right? They kept coming up, so we actually addressed it. I said we looked at it, and basically he's pissed is because he wasn't invited to London like the other two because they were all a group. They were all a group. They were all the inner before Kevin died. That was supposed to be his inner circle, right? And after he died, there was inner circle came together to actually carry his message. Okay, him, MTR, Melanie King, you know, and a couple of others. Okay, The thing is, when Pearly blew up off of, what we think of the gap that Kevin filled, right? He didn't get invited. He wasn't part of the group, and so naturally he's not up. He didn't get the same kind of press, the same kind of platform, same kind of notoriety. He's not happy about that. So that, in my opinion, that's why he did it. Okay.
I feel like he's one of them Highlander niggas we talk about.
He's got he's a South Central, South Central Negro. Of course he is.
It's a profile thing. It's a profile thing. You only really need two. You got NTR, he's young, he's tall, ladies consider him handsome. Then you've got Melanie King. If you can get them two on the couch, you know what I'm saying, you can grab their audience. Your audience is not going to really necessarily gravitate to them. They might get a small percentage, but what's 20K subs, but they're not watching your content. They might watch a few videos and then tune you out. There's a reason why they're not sub to you in the first place. But other people will more so gravitate towards her. That helps build her platform. All right. So you have, of course, Dennis. She didn't feel that Dennis had any marketability. So
Maybe
why
not.
would you invite him? It makes sense.
Okay.
It makes
sense.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just trying to follow the logic train from a business standpoint as to why all of this happened.
Okay.
So I can understand why he got upset.
Yo, I don't give a fuck why he didn't get
I
invited.
know. I mean, I'm just logic train.
Like,
Okay.
because you keep bringing the conversation back to that shit. Like it matters.
But ask me the real question. Okay, ask me the real question.
No, it's not. It's not another question. My viewpoint is,
in other words, what
a
you're
lot
saying
of the fuck don't get called out, and then
what you're saying is why I call them out versus her. Okay, I keep trying to clarify it. Like 50
no, but I was speaking to you. But so what you say? I couldn't hear you over me.
No,
I'm listening.
Okay, in other words, the question is, why did I call out them and not him? Right? Is that what you're saying?
It's part of what I'm saying.
Okay, so what's the other part?
No, the larger argument that I'm making is, if we're not going to call certain things out and and let those things live, and listening to Dennis, he does make a lot of these these arguments that people would think are these rage arguments, right? And it works. Like, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I watch his shit here and there to see what he's talking about.
But why did I call them out is what you're asking versus him.
You asked me about that already. You asked me, well, what's the other point?
I'm asking, is that what you're trying to get to? Because that's what you sound like you're trying to.
No, you said you called them out, and I apparently missed the call out, right?
Okay.
So I thought we covered that.
Okay. So now where are we going now?
So you can't ask me where we going, and then I start talking, and then you bring me back where we were.
Because I'm trying, because you're talking. I'm trying to figure out.
No, but if I'm talking and you talking, you'll never understand.
What I'm saying is that okay? I'm a STEM guy, right? Okay, I'm a STEM guy, and you're not a STEM guy. You're an artsy guy, right? So you're gonna talk. I'm gonna lose you. So I'm trying to figure out, I'm gonna lose you.
You're gonna listen to the playback. When I start talking, you start talking.
Okay, man. I'm gonna mute myself. Okay.
Okay, what I'm saying is, the people who are at the top of this space, the names that are immediately associated and connected to this space, right? In the same manner that you would want a Trump to denounce a KKK or whatever, there has to be a clear message that is certain shit that this message is not associated with. Now, you say it's not worth it, even if you don't have to call a name. Now, if I missed a video or some shit, then link me to it and I'll shut the fuck up. I don't have a problem with being incorrect. You just told me that you did call out Dennis in the video. I missed the video. Okay. I ain't about to argue you down about, well, you should have sent me the link so I could have saw it and blah, 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 blah. And then, you had, you said that somebody in the chat said Charles mentioned the shit, right? But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, the point is what I just said. There has to be a clear distinction from the respected guys, and you're one of the respected guys in this space, that there's just certain things that this space is not about. It has to be said, even if it was put on us or other content creators attach this or that to us. It has, these things have.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it right here. If you notice, there's a bunch of back and forth over nothing. It's just a bunch of back and forth that leads nowhere. And the real chief culprit of this like nothingness is this guy BGS Igmore. I think that's his name. I think his name stands for Black Gnostic Scholar, I think. And he's the one that leads the pack. But he's an old nigga from LA. It's like, I don't want to stereotype people or anything, but I know LA niggas a lot of times. They're very volatile and opinionated and aggressive. And he brings that to a discussion. That's why he had to throw in the I'm a STEM guy. That's an act of aggression on an intellectual level. He's pretty much saying, hey, I'm a smart motherfucker. Shut the fuck up and listen to me. Even though most of his content leads nowhere. It's just a bunch of rambling. That's all he does is ramble. He just rambles about nothing. And let me continue. I just want to point that out.
To be countered, just like the narrative of black men that black women put out there. That's what we're doing. We're countering that. So then you can't pick and choose what's worth it to do and what's not based on allegiances or personalities or this and that and the other. At the end of the day, it has to be a clear cut distinction set by these people. So you don't got your FD signifiers and all these other motherfuckers saying that, yo, the black manosphere is about this and about this and about this and about this. Now, I'm sure you've done this here and there, but that needs to be louder than the fuck shit. And that's why you got a lot of motherfuckers saying, yo, I don't want to be involved with this shit, because the fuck shit is louder than what the reason we're here.
Okay, let's pause it again. Let's pause it again. Now, Marcus is good with me. He's okay. I kind of like Marcus. Marcus is all right. He goes a little far left, but he tries to stay in the middle and balance. Do you see how he's solution-oriented? And he's trying to get to the source of the problem? Because that's the problem with this black manosphere, whatever they want to call it. It's like, it's a bunch of niggas sitting around complaining about dumb shit. And what Marcus just said is pretty much, let's figure this out, because we need to find the next course of action, because a lot of people are dropping off or dropping out or tuning out because nobody wants to hear this shit. I mean, going a lot of this stuff for me goes back to just childhood. Growing up, we all had problems with some girl or a little clique of girls, and we would sit around, we would complain about them a bit, but eventually somebody said, fuck that shit, man. Get that ball and let's go play basketball. Let's go do something. Man, like, forget those. Like, the number one saying that just came to mind that I can remember saying or hearing people say is, forget those bitches. You know, forget those bitches. But let me minimize this so I can see if I'm coming through. Yes, I'm coming through. So yeah, I can remember saying, like, forget those bitches. And now that I'm saying it, it was like something you said real quick. And the reason we most likely said it real quick was to, you know, camouflage the B word. Forget those bitches. I can remember that shit. But yeah, but let's see what BGS says, because this is live coverage. I just stumbled across this, but I haven't seen Marcus live or even watch his videos in some time. But bottom line is, let's see what BGS says. Am I coming through clear? Yes.
It needs to have a code.
Okay.
It needs
Now,
to have a
now you
code.
said all
A
that.
code of
Now I need
conduct.
bullet. Now I need bullet points because you said a lot. Maybe about 4 or 5 points. Which one do you want me to address?
I'm not saying anything. This is your turn.
And there you have it. Just an old nigga wanting to argue. That's what he is. Just an old nigga that wants to argue. He's in LA. I put money on this nigga lives in a house that he got from his mama or grandma. He worked in IT, most likely on a lower level where he made a decent living for LA. He's divorced 2 times over. But I don't want to disparage you, man. But just look at his response. It's like it's more antagonistic. It's just aggressive for no reason. I understood everything Marcus said. Anybody who understands English understands Marcus. But this guy wants to draw it out to make it seem like, or he wants to overcomplicate the simplest things for some strange reason. Here we go.
To speak.
What I'm saying is, okay, I'm trying to get an understanding of what you're asking, right? Okay, the reason I called out the women, okay, why I made that particular address, is because, okay, I want, because a lot of guys in this space, the Dr. Neil included, want the women out, okay? Don't even talk to them. Don't go over there, banish them because they keep causing these goddamn problems, right? I don't necessarily want that. I want, especially Shay Sade, I wanted to give women a chance. Okay, this is where we're coming from, and this is what the space is. In other words, you guys are actually overstepping your bounds. I want you to.
Now look what he just did. He didn't respond to anything Marcus posited, or he didn't respond to any of Marcus's points. He pretty much is marketing and advertising for this black manosphere, because I think he mentioned Kendra. Kendra is some new girl who pretty much is the female version of Kevin Samuels. It's like he wants to keep this bickering going because he most likely makes a decent living off of it. For him, a decent living would be like 60 to 70 a year just off of running his mouth. And that's not a bad, bag, if you want to call it a bag, for just running your mouth. But what he just did was he's setting up the marketing for their new course of action. More bickering, just with women and men from everywhere across the world. Because what I feel like is going on right now is they're just looking to make money off of a hot topic. And it's a hot topic right now because it was a hot topic for white people in the 80s and 90s. Now it has been a hot topic for us since the 2000s and now going into the 20s, the 2020s, that is. So that's what he wants to do. He just wants to bicker and make some money. He wants to be the black version of today's men are from Mars, women's from Venus. That's what he wants to do. Okay? And hey, I can't knock the hustle, but I can't critique the hustle. And this hustle is like, it's more detrimental than helpful to black people as a whole. But let's continue.
To stay, I want you to be part of it. I want you to be connected to it. But you're overstepping your bounds. Okay, if you don't, guess what's going to happen? Okay, they're going to boot you. They're going to boot you. So that's why I did it for them. Okay, Dennis, we addressed him a different way because some people that are on a tangent like that, you start beef with them. It's going to start a beef, and you're going to give fuel to what's going on. Okay, you give fuel to it. Really, a lot of fuel to it. What Dennis is doing is not really the biggest thing that's going on, right? It's the women crying out and all this other kind of stuff that's causing the fuel. Dennis, people go off on content creators go off on tangents all the time, okay? And they go left, okay? When a content creator goes left, you got two choices. Either if you either call it out, start a beef, that's going to go circulate for the next year or so, or let close him off and let him rant, okay? With Dennis, okay, you want to go left, we could call it out, start a beef, and it'll actually go on for the next 6 months.
Just look at the confusion in Marcus's face. He knows what he's listening to is bullshit. It's just an old nigga looking to make a quick buck and maybe cause more problems and go out with the bang. These are some of his last years. He's most likely 60 something, so he has a good 10 years left. And these last 10 years, he wants to give them hell, as they would say back in the days. Just give them hell. That's what he wants to do. And it's like, just look at Marcus's face. He knows what he's listening to is a bunch of garble, a bunch of nonsense, just a bunch of this yappity yap yap. But he's a STEM guy, right? He's a STEM guy. He's supposed to be analytical, logical, and smart, but all he does is fucking ramble. Shut the fuck up, old nigga. Because you ain't saying shit that's new. You saying old, tired shit.
Which it has sometimes a year and a half, okay? Or close him off and let him burn himself out. With Dennis, we let him burn himself out.
You know how you do that? How you do
Okay.
that really with everybody that's not talking true Manosphere talking points, how you all see it.
Mm-hmm.
You promote each other. You promote each other that's in the clique. You understand? Because you're going to have to tribal up. This is a tribalism situation. And you're going to have to tribe up and you got to call out members of your tribe. Like, yeah, like.
Okay. I minimized the screen so I could see if I'm coming through clear. Now, peep how Bitter Truth, who is also cool, he's cool with me, man. For the most part, both of them, him and Marcus, are pretty cool with me. You see how Bitter Truth is becoming more solution oriented, and it's really like, and he's being real. It's like this topic, if you guys want to discuss this topic, you have to become tribal. We are all tribal. This whole thing that they're going against when it comes to women is based on women's tribalism. That's what it is. Women have clicked up, which that's what tribes are. They're just groups of people who click up, and they find a common goal and work with or for each other on that common goal. But let's see what BGS says to this logic. Let's see.
Special shout out to, whatever group Manosphere, then you call out the little YouTube names. And then you go on and you do your spiel. So that way people know, okay, these guys are separate from these guys. All right. They don't rock with these other people because they got their own little clique. You understand? So that way the message is it's the same, but it's progressively the same. If with just slight variations that doesn't cause all of these problems.
And these guys, and I'm telling you because I've been one of the main content creators in this space, right? And these guys, just like Dennis, can be on one side today and another side tomorrow.
Thank you for saying that, but let me say this, right?
So clicking up and sharing videos, because we do this all the time. You constantly see the videos I share, Ed shares, and other people share. The BGS tax is there for a reason, right? So I normally smaller content creators, but the thing is, I do it all the time. of people that whose messages I rock with, okay? Because you haven't seen me share Dennis's shit in what, how long? Okay.
I only use Dennis as an example. What I'm because because I
And just peep his response. His response was more ramblings. Just, he pretty much said to Bitter Truth, like, we already do that. We do, distinguish between who's, releasing acceptable content and who's not releasing acceptable content. But he didn't address the point. Like, you need to centralize your how can I phrase it? You need to centralize your ideology. You can't have just a bunch of random people rambling all online saying they're this black manosphere. You need to centralize things. And I think they could have done that with that guy Tiasan Johnson and even Gigi Green Gorilla. Yeah, Green Gorilla. They could have done that with these scholars. But those scholars really, I can't knock them. They're smart guys, but that's not their focus. Their focus isn't necessarily, mapping out a plan. I think Tiasan Johnson has written down a plan, but he's not actively pushing it. If he was actively pushing it, he would join certain sectors of YouTube to push his plan. Like one sector, namely, which he should join, is the ADOS movement. Like, they have a black agenda plan. Why not, tag his agenda plan to there, or at least give it to them to see what they say, or start his own movement. But these guys aren't here for solutions. They're here to make money. And that's what BGS essentially just stated. Like, we do a little housekeeping, but, other than that, we're not going to do anything worthwhile. We're just going to ramble online for no real reason. Let's continue.
I've mentioned Dennis's name before, so I guess people are looking at it.
And he's not even the main one. Okay.
Right. But my point is, and I want to respond to what you said. You said you guys spoke to or you got at the females because you were worried that they would get booted out of space.
Yeah. They're pretty tenuous there about them getting booted out of space. Yeah.
But with guys such as a Dennis, right? You took a different approach because you didn't want to start a beef.
Yeah, and to clarify things, to inform you on this guy Dennis, or who he is. Dennis is an attorney out of the South, I believe Texas to be specific. And Dennis has always been someone I looked at from a distance and said, what the fuck is your problem? For one, you're an attorney. For two, you're in the South, nigga. Like, why? Like, what are your complaints about? Like, what's going on with you? And when you look at Dennis, you can see what's going on with him. He's fat. He has a skin disorder. And he's not, those are his two weak spots or his sore spots. He's fat and he needs to go to a dermatologist. Like, you see how I just took his flaws, and now I'm saying, at least with the part when I say he needs a dermatologist, I'm being solution oriented. So for Dennis, he just wants to sit and complain and make a little extra money on top of the money he makes from his legal practice. It's like, this is really extra for him, but for everybody else, he's causing more problems. Because from the first time I listened to this guy, I said, I just saw through his nonsense the first time. He's just a fat dude who needs to, have a nighttime facial routine. That will solve his problem. You already have a profession. you're in the South. Well, what more do you need, homie? You know, but I'm just saying all of this to clarify who they're talking about, because he's another guy who just rambles for no clear reason. There's no solution. It's just him rambling. And, you know, and if he does have a solution, it's not sustainable. Like, I believe he's one of the guys who pushed the passport bro solution. And I think he was successful himself, because I think his girl is Hispanic, directly from the islands. I believe so. I can't be sure because I don't follow him too closely, or not at all, really. But yeah, that's his solution. And that's not sustainable. Everybody's not going to go overseas for a damn wife. I mean, it didn't work for the white dudes. So what makes you think it will work for you? Because if you're old enough and you stayed up late enough and watched certain shows, like one guy comes to mind right now, Morton Downey. If you stayed up long enough to watch Morton Downey, you saw the commercials for mail order Russian brides. That's what it was called. Yeah. If you saw those commercials, then you know, like, this is like that passport bro thing was attempted by white guys, and it didn't work necessarily. Of course, you have some guys who most likely found a wife in Russia way back in the 90s. Okay. Maybe one or two, but you don't have a bunch of white guys that you've grown up with, or you don't work with white guys who bring their Russian wife to the company party. You just don't see it. So getting back to Dennis, that was his solution, I believe. But for Dennis, that is like, his solution should have been, for him specifically, which could have like played out for these young men, is to lose some fucking weight and get your hygiene together. And also, Dennis needs to go to a better barber and shit or something. He needs to stop going to hair club for men or some shit, wherever the fuck he goes. But bottom line is, yeah, let's get back to this.
Why did I say I didn't want to start a beef?
No, you would have to tell me that. I can't.
Okay, I'll repeat it again, right? Okay, if you give energy to this, right, rather than letting it burn itself out, you start a beef, it's going to go on for a year and a half.
Yeah, but if your guy is basically putting a lie out, then the same way, again, you have the relationship. If I say something about Dennis, then it's a beef because me and him don't have the relationship.
I hate to pause, but listen to what BGS just stated. He pretty much said, if you guys have a conflict, don't let it, go on for too long. Just let it die out. Let it die a natural death by just ignoring it, And that does work in many cases, and totally, for totally different topics or totally different situations. But what he's essentially saying is, we want to keep this shit going. So there's certain people who may be outliers or going off course. We'll just ignore them and let them, spin their wheels until they get tired. Instead of engaging each other and finding out the source of the problem and then readjusting their approach or their collective approach. But no, he just wants to keep shit going. That's essentially what he said. He wants to keep shit going the way it is.
Me and you have disagreed.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't start shooting at each other. Right? Me and Bay disagrees. We didn't start shooting at each other.
Yeah.
You guys have a relationship with Dennis that I don't.
Yeah.
Right? So in the same way that, like, if I disagree with you or I disagree with Bay, it would be a brotherly disagreement. Yeah. Even though I'm calling it out. I call out Sister George. Me and Sister George are cool. Yeah. I call out people who I'm cool with, right? Yeah. What I'm saying is, why would you and Shay Sade be able to hash things out, but then somehow with the guy it'll be a beef when he's putting out hold on. Let me
Okay.
finish.
All right.
If he's putting out the same lie that you're trying to combat, right? But you don't want no beef with him, so you don't challenge that, but you go to the girl and say, hey, watch your mouth because this is the space. Even though Dennis, by guys in the chat saying he ain't part of the space, and he'll say, I'm in and I'm out, and you already said he's in and he's out and he's in and he's out. And if he's able to be in and out, then you have to at some point, because again, he's Manosphere adjacent, right? Challenge the narrative that you're letting him, but you said that you did. But there's this other concern that there would be a beef, and we got to pick our battles because.
Okay. The thing is, okay, go ahead, man. It's called experience, right? After doing this shit like every 6 months for 8 years, man.
I got
you know when to actually know when to hold them, know when to fold them, right? Because you've been through this shit so many times.
Did you just hear this, man? He said he's been at this for 8 years. That's a long time. 8 years is a long time for you to sit online complaining about women. And you haven't found any solutions. You haven't moved forward in any way. It's just stuck in a feedback loop of niggas complaining about bitches. 8 years. And that's another thing that the reason I'm even covering this is because this whole manosphere or whatever they want to call it has been around a long time. People have a warped sense of time due to the internet. 8 years is a long time. And for a lot of these guys, they've been around for like 15 years. That's a long time. So that means they've been around since 2008. And how do I know this? Like some of these guys I stumbled across when I separated from my ex. And that was like in 2008. That's a long time that these guys have been saying the same shit forever. Now, in their defense, to a degree, it didn't start with them. It started with people like Crystal Carrison and Tanya TKO. They've been around a long time talking shit. At least Crystal Carrison to a lesser degree because she was humiliated some time ago, so she's been in the shadows, lurking, doing whatever she does. But Tanya TKO actually reappeared maybe a year ago because she was homeless, whatever the hell was going on with her. But she disappeared too. But these people have been around a long time causing confusion. And the reason I'm even speaking up finally is because I thought it would die off, you know, and to give some like understanding for why I just thought a hands-off approach would work is because I have to look back or I have to look at myself and realize what I was conditioned to do and how I'm conditioned to react. I'm a first generation hip hop person. I'm a person who's the first generation who doesn't remember a time before hip hop, you know. So I'm like, I'm millennial adjacent. And based on that upbringing, we always felt like in that culture, hip hop culture, if you just ignore certain artists, they'll just go away. You know, and it's true. They just go away. That's just how it works. It's a business. It's show business. It's not show a culture. It's show business. So if the artist doesn't make money, if you ignore them, they go away. So that's how I viewed a lot of this stuff online. I viewed it as, you know, if people just don't feed into it, it'll go away. But no, it doesn't. There's something behind the scenes keeping this going, and we know what it is. Like, to give another like analogy, if it isn't an analogy, you know, going back to hip hop, you know, there's a reason Jay-Z is still around. Like, yes, he's made good music, but he's made a lot of crap music in between the good music, and it's been for long periods. There's a reason Jay-Z is still around, because there's something behind the scenes keeping him going. And that's the same thing that goes for this Manosphere shit. There's something behind the scenes keeping this dumb shit going. And it's fucking super chats, cash apps, fucking Patreon membership shit. And that's what's keeping this shit going. But these niggas don't realize that their behavior will have much long-lasting, it will have a much longer lasting effect on the Black community than the benefit they gain from that effect. That means that whatever, like, say they get a super chat for $200, the cost for the community is $2 million. You get it? So it's like, it just doesn't work out in the long run for anyone's best interest. And so I like to be fair and balanced, and let's keep going. And when I say fair and balanced, I mean going into like the causation of the Manosphere, like the two names I just mentioned, Chris Carrison and Tiny TKO and a few other people. I can't remember their names right now. But, for the men, we're not supposed to be like the woman and keep bickering back and forth. But let's keep on going.
Okay. Certain you see certain things can be salvaged, and certain things can't. He can't come back. After doing this with Pearly shit, he can't come back. He's out.
Okay. No, I hear what you're saying, but I don't believe it, because I'm gonna tell you this. I would say, no, listen to what I'm saying.
All
I mean, and come back in terms of what? Because I would say that a good portion of the guys who listen to us listen to Dennis. I even though he's not waving, or whether it's the day where he's not waving the Black Manosphere flag, or it's the day that he does, there's guys in the chat who like Dennis, and they rock with Dennis, even with his imperfections and inconsistencies and flip-flopping and simping.
We can't control
and even that in him shitting on the space, right?
We can't control what they do.
No, I'm not alleging that. I'm not alleging that we can, but what I'm saying is you can't pick this person for stepping out of bounds and then say, oh, I don't want to fuck with the other guy because I don't want no beef with him.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
I mean, you can do what you want, but then
I just explained why. You don't have to accept my explanation, but you asked me why.
This is also true.
And I gave it. You asked me for an explanation why you do it for some people and why you don't, right? I explained it. You don't accept it. You don't accept it. Okay? Right?
I mean, Shay Sade didn't attach Pearl to the space.
What did she say?
No, I know what she said that you went after her for, but you basically you went at her.
I didn't really go at her. Yeah, go ahead.
You went at her for the same reason I.
Because you did the same thing to me. Go ahead, man.
You talk first, man, because you asked me a question. I began to answer.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
No, you first.
Do you see how BGS is just an argumentative person? He likes to bicker. He's an old nigga from LA that likes to bicker. And the reason I stress the LA part is because I've had an interaction with him and I called him out for that. Like, I know why you act the way you act. I've been in your culture. I know why. I've been to LA since I was a child. The first time I went to LA was like when I was 8 years old on vacation. And going there, like, as I got older and just growing up in California, niggas like to bicker, nigga. And a lot of times, not to talk bad about LA niggas, it's funny sometimes because there were so many times like I came close to like some serious like fights and shit or arguments, and then all of a sudden niggas is just like it'll flip in a second. It's like the real kind of like bipolar, damn near. But bottom line is, you see how this nigga wants to bicker? That's what he's doing. He just wants to bicker. It's an old nigga that wants to bicker. That's what he is.
In other words, I hadn't even finished my question. As a certain man from New York says, right? Because you asked me a question, I interjected, so I haven't finished my question yet, right? Right?
Continue. Then
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
you can do that.
Okay. Basically, with Shay Sade, okay, with Shay Sade, the way it was posted, you picking Karen over Keisha's, basically, and it shocked me because I didn't expect that from her. Actually, when I went on, if you saw it, I said that I didn't expect that from you. I thought so I wanted to make clear, to the women especially, what the Manosphere was, because they didn't have any idea what it was, because they thought that the Manosphere was something different than it actually was. Okay, like women were actually included. No, you're not. Okay, and what you're going to do is get yourself kicked out. Okay, because
So
I thought it could be salvaged. Okay, Dennis cannot be salvaged.
I thought you were asking me a question. I'm
Okay,
confused
well,
now.
all right. What's the question I asked you? Because I can't even remember.
I don't remember now. I can't remember your question.
This shit is like pure comedy. This nigga rambles so much that he loses track of his thoughts, and he doesn't even know what he's saying is. I mean, we all do it. It's called losing your train of thought. That's what it's called, losing your train of thought. We all do that shit. But for this nigga, he does it to himself on purpose, damn near, just to cause more confusion. And that's the thing about the Manosphere that makes him like really like entertaining to these kids, because I think a lot of these listeners are kids. And a kid for me is a 25-year-old. I'm an OG, nigga. That's a kid to me. Literally. Nigga, that's a kid. They like that type of shit. They like an old nigga just going off, losing train of thought, and then getting angry again. That shit is funny to them. And I understand how that's funny to them, because I was a kid at one time in these streets, and you come across one of these old niggas who just run their mouth, and you just sit back and laugh, and you enjoy it because it's like, God damn, this nigga's all over the place. But it sounds good, but it sounds like a bunch of garble. It's real confusing. But bottom line is, yeah, man, just listen to this nigga.
Question. You said you weren't finished asking it, but what I'm gonna say is this: like you saying, he can't be salvaged, but he's shooting, right? So again, like I made the bad choice of thinking, hey, you know what? If I show black men that this motherfucker's an op, they'll believe he's an op. And I made a whole video of him talking op shit. And motherfuckers is like, fuck your proof, fuck your evidence, right? But I'm not BGS. Ibmore.
Okay.
Right? So this is the thing, right? And again, it didn't, I guess, I'm thinking the chat wants us to move past this, right? My conclusion to this whole thing, because again, I don't want to, it's too much of Dennis's name flying around, but since you're talking about Dennis, what I'm saying, we're into this conversation. My thing is, my opinion is all fuck shit. I don't care. At the risk of a disagreement, fight. Again, you're respected. Dennis ain't gonna shoot at you like he would shoot at me. I'm in the plane going to Japan, and motherfuckers is texting me, yo, man, Dennis is going crazy. Keep it 100, blah, blah, right?
Yeah.
He's not gonna do that to you. And people are talking like, yo, Marcus,
how do you know? How do you know he won't? Because a lot of people do.
Here we go. I have to pause because here we go. He's positioning himself to bicker again. Like, how do you know he won't? It's almost like he wants to keep this going, and then possibly after this little discussion that I will call Disagreement-Day-Gate, he'll have Dennis go after him. Like they communicate behind the scenes. So he'll have Dennis go after him just to prove on Marcus on, Dennis's flip-floppiness, like Dennis is flip, like he'll probably get Dennis to do something to him, BGS that is. He'll get Dennis to do something to him to show that everybody's fair game and let's keep this bickering going. When Marcus is saying, hey, this guy is like a problem. Let's see what we can, do to, square him away. But BGS doesn't want to do that. He may have alluded to that, saying like he's not salvageable or whatever. That's all talk. These niggas will continue to do this shit till the cows come home. Let's continue.
There's a lot of people that I'm not gonna call them, but there's I call them the pigeons.
Dennis ain't those people.
How do you know?
So then why not worry about Shay Sharpay shooting that?
I had okay.
It's a question. Why this fight, not that fight? Well, you understand what I'm saying?
Refer back to answer A. Okay.
What I'm saying is, if you thought that was worth it, why is it? So because again, Dennis isn't he bigger than Shay?
He is. Yeah.
Oh, he is, right. So and again, he's a guy who, even though he denounces the space every month, he's adjacent, right?
Yeah.
And you guys, again, you guys have a relationship with this guy that I do not.
Okay.
Right? He attacked me. He ain't going again. BGS, I think you're underplaying your status in this space, man.
Well, the thing is,
to a certain degree,
I really do not want to play cleanup and hall monitor to this space. Okay, that's what I would have to do.
But you did.
Did you just hear this old nigga? This old nigga this nigga's in his fucking 60s saying he doesn't want to be an elder. That's what elders do. Elders come through and try to clean up shit and keep shit in order. That's why God gave you wisdom, motherfucker. But this nigga doesn't want to do that. He just wants to sit back, bicker, probably take his grandkids to Strawberry Park if that's still open, Strawberry Farms, what else? If you can afford it, Disneyland, Disneyland's cheap now. But you get what I'm saying. He doesn't want to be a cleanup man. Nigga, you are fucking old. That's your duty. That's your job. That's the beauty of eldership. At least that's what I thought, eldership meant, was the fact that, you have the authority come through and clean up messes and keep things in order with all these wild motherfuckers. But this nigga doesn't want to do that. He wants to be, I think this nigga is essentially trying to live out his days of glory. Excuse me. He's trying to relive his days of glory in the days like he's the nigga back in the days that had a problem with how Stella got her groove back. But his complaints were restricted to his small circle of friends that he has a beer with, or niggas that he hangs out with, or maybe his co-workers that he's cool with, where he can, share his unfiltered self. It was restricted to that small circle. But now he has a whole world at his disposal to just ramble and like let off these last final shots, because I'll admit, this whole black female, black male thing has been a problem for a long time. I know this personally. It's been a problem for a long time. So I get why he wants to have his say. But what he's doing is he's causing more problems. And on top of that, he doesn't even want to serve the role as an elder, even though most of these motherfucking kids are listening to you because you're an elder. But you don't want to play. You don't want to take on the eldership duties. Man, damn it. Shut the fuck up. Let's continue.
Did that with Shay.
That was one instance. How often do I do that?
That's not your first time.
When's the other time? When's the other time actually? When's the other time actually when that?
And you're saying you want to avoid
time? When's the
not your first time?
That was one instance. How often do I
have to pause it and I rewound it a little bit? Yeah, listen to what Bitter Truth says. That's why I'm kind of cool with Bitter Truth. He's all right. He's telling the truth. He said, that's your job to clean up, nigga. What the fuck good are you if your wisdom can't serve as a cleanser, as a fucking tool to keep things in order? Let's continue.
But no, that's not your first time.
When's the other time? When's the other time actually? When's the other time actually when that shit?
And you're saying you want to avoid fights? I mean, shit. This shit is rock'em sock'em. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm trying to. Okay. I hear this stuff going on around in circles, right? Okay. I'm here because I'm trying to clear this shit up, man, so I can get back to work. Okay. I don't want to play hall monitor and clean up, man, to all this shit. Okay. I hear this stuff going on in certain, we're trying to kind of calm this shit down because what's going on right now is really not worth it. Okay. Really
so again, it's not about Dennis. What I'm saying, I keep saying this because but the reason Dennis's name keeps. The reason
who else are we talking about?
A hall monitor appointed.
The reason Dennis's name keeps coming up is
we'll leave that to you. Go ahead.
The reason his name keeps coming up is because I'm trying to draw a parallel of who's worth it.
Give me another person, okay, instead of Dennis. Who's there? Who else?
As far as what shooting at the space that's
because he's an example. Who else?
I don't because I don't follow a lot of these guys. I think he's the biggest example. Like I don't know.
No, he's not.
I don't know who else.
No, he's not. Who's the biggest example? We all know who he is. O'Shea.
I watched Celebrity Jump. But isn't he B1 at this point?
But he's adjacent because guess what content he does?
I have to pause again to clarify who they're talking about. If you're not familiar with the space, if you are, please excuse me. But O'Shea is a very, polarizing figure. I may have mentioned him in another video. I may have not. Who knows? But bottom line is, O'Shea is a guy who was like one of the first black Manosphere, if there is a black Manosphere. He was one of the first. He came around maybe in 2012, maybe 2011. He's been around for some time. And he started out just complaining about, relationships and shit. And for me, I left him alone because I knew why. I know why O'Shea complained about shit. And this is not a slight against O'Shea because I'll preface this with, I'm not the most attractive motherfucker. I'll admit that shit. I have a saying, shit. I got the looks of Bismarck E, but the confidence of Big Daddy Kane, nigga. But at the same time, let's get back to O'Shea. When I first came across O'Shea's content, I realized this is just an ugly nigga from California. This nigga's had to fucking deal with a lot of headaches. Like, he's uglier than me, so I know he's dealt with a lot of headaches growing up in California and shit. Because you got fat, ugly bitches out there who try to act like, they're the creme de la creme. It's kind of funny, comical, but that's neither here nor there. And that's not a slight against fat bitches. Hey, you go, big girls. But I mean, so to clean that up, you got skinny, ugly bitches out there who act like they're the creme de la creme. So when I first ran across O'Shea's content, I already saw his problem. Nigga, you're ugly and you're out of shape on top of that. And it's not even the fact that O'Shea's ugly, because if you see O'Shea, people will automatically assume I'm calling him ugly because of his features and his complexion. No, it's the fact that he hasn't found a look that complements his natural aesthetic. Like, let me give you an example. Rick Ross. Rick Ross is a fat, ugly nigga. That's what he is, essentially. But he's found a look that can be appealing to somebody, and it's to a large percentage of women. there's a large percentage of women who would love to play in his beard as they lay on his chest and rub his belly. There are women out there who like that shit, dog. So when I first came across O'Shea, I knew his problem. You're just an ugly nigga. It's like, deal with it, nigga. The fuck? Why are you complaining about some shit you can't change right now? Unless, like, for O'Shea, I always used to think, like, if you have a problem with girls and you know what your problem is, go get some cosmetic surgery, nigga. Go get a nose job. Say you have a deviated septum or some shit, and go handle your business, nigga. Do something, nigga. I don't know what to tell you, nigga. Do something, nigga. And also another point about O'Shea is when he first popped up, this nigga was in Europe complaining. This nigga wasn't even in America. He's not in America to this day. So when I ran across his content, I'm like, why is this nigga complaining from Poland? And he was in medical school. I'm like, nigga, do you even have time to make these videos? Like, how do you have time to make these videos? Because I know niggas who went to medical school, personally. Them niggas are busy, as they should be, because they're entering a profession where people's lives are at stake. But to get back to the point, the nigga was in Europe in medical school complaining about nothing, nigga. Nothing. Just like, nigga, shut the fuck up. Go get you, like, and he's still complaining to this day. And now he has Marcus mentioned it. He's B1 or pro-black now. So he has a pro-black angle to it. So it's even more toxic and confusing. So that's just to clarify who they're talking about. Let's get back to this shit. I know. Please excuse me. Like, share, subscribe. Hopefully these guys see this shit or somebody gets word to them. Whatever. I don't care. Let's continue.
No,
Despite
I
being
see the celebrity post. I don't see that much red pill shit coming
the
from
second
O'Shea.
time he fired a pearly bullet at the Black Manosphere. Second time.
So-
He actually him and Omar Wally were the original people to actually come up with the Black Manosphere Woman King.
And understand, and I'm addressing the guys in the chat. This isn't about BGS in particular, right? I said the people who are immediately associated with this space. BGS just happens to be in the room and we're talking to him. So I'm not like saddling BGS Idmore alone with this responsibility. I'm just responding to him because he's here. Not only that, I think that what's his name? O'Shea. I don't think that people would be opposed to calling O'Shea out. And I would assume that you have. Like I would assume that you've addressed O'Shea, Lincoln, Pearl to the space. No?
I have.
Right. And because I think somehow that's easier to do than the other guy, right? Again, I think that is really about, I guess, you guys, you saying you feel like he'll attack you. You think there'll be a fight or whatever. You think that if you say his name over the other, because O'Shea is not going to attack you.
One more time, okay? Some things you have to address, and some things you let them burn out. Okay. Dennis will burn out because he's not drawing as much attention as O'Shea.
So why not let the female content creator comments burn out? I'm just asking.
Okay.
Whether it's her, whether it's Sister George, and any of these people, like, they say what they say. What's the difference between?
Second time, I will explain it once more.
Right.
I think that relationship can be salvaged. Okay. I'm trying to address them so they don't get booted out, because that's probably the next step that's going to happen. And we just happen to actually organize this space where men and women can actually come together and talk.
But
I don't think it's. Can I finish? Because you just asked me.
Strip club, sir.
Okay. I don't care whether it's a digital strip club. Business gets done in the strip club. You know that, right?
I'm listening, bro.
In other words, basically, you just got black men and women talking after Kevin. Okay. And I don't think it should be destroyed because of a red-haired white chick that somebody decided to throw on us on
That's
purpose.
Bingo, you just heard the man. You got black men and women talking. That's not talk. They're not talking. They're bickering with each other. It leads nowhere. I mean, dog, I've said this several times. What we're going through, white people went through in the 80s. So this nigga BGS doesn't want to see this shit die out. This is a moneymaker. This is an easy cash cow. That's why he just mentioned the white girl, and that's another person I need to clarify. I think her name is Pearly Strings. She's a frumpy looking white girl who she's pretty much a white, like, to give you an analogy, she's that white girl who can recite rap lyrics. That's what she is for this Manosphere shit. So all she does is parrot and repeat shit that niggas have said for years. You could tell she grew up on YouTube. She's only like 25, 26. She's a kid. She's a person who doesn't know a time before YouTube, most likely. So this nigga BGS doesn't want to let her presence keep them from continuing to bickering. And if you're not familiar with Pearly Strings, like latest debacle or shame, however you want to label it, I don't even know what to call it. But bottom line is, these niggas let this bitch go over to the UK and get a bunch of black immigrants to talk shit about black male and female relations as if, you know, it relates to black America, because Pearly Strings is American. So it's like a blind association. So even though she's not black, but she's American and she's in the UK with a bunch of black immigrants, or excuse me, black foreigners. That's what they are. They're not immigrants. Bunch of black foreigners. Like, you make this connection between these black motherfuckers in UK babbling and this white American. So she's like the YouTube social worker from the 1960s and 70s, because that's who she was. Like, a long time ago, a person like Pearly Strings worked in social services, and she harassed our woman and caused conflict in the family. But she's just a digital version of it now. But that's neither here nor there. But to give you some background on Pearly Strings, she said a lot of shit that was pretty much like borderline like white supremacist talking points. Like, slavery wasn't as bad as people depict it, or as bad as they believe. So, I mean, I've only seen clips. I've never watched a whole show of her shit. I don't like any of this shit, really. So I'm definitely not gonna like a white girl talking shit. That makes no sense. Only an idiot would feed into that shit. For all you little niggas out there feeding into her, you're a fucking little idiot, okay? Dumb little motherfucker. But to get back to what BGS just stated, because I like to stay on track, I don't like to ramble. BGS pretty much said, like, don't let Pearly Strings, misbehavior or her disrespect of Black America throw this money train off course. Don't let her ruin this little hustle we got going. So that's what this nigga wants to do. Let's continue.
okay. I mean, we discussed that before, but my thing is this:
the answer is the same.
With Dennis being the bigger content creator. Now you're saying let it burn out, as in let him burn out, right?
Yeah.
Dennis ain't burning out. Dennis is on fire, right? Not only that, but the things that he's no, hold on. Now I'm gonna respond to you. The things that he's saying to people, the people who listen to him ingest these things that don't burn out, right? So what I'm saying is, look, again, you have the full autonomy and right to say, I ain't got no time for that shit, right?
Okay.
Just like
Okay.
I, for the most part, opted out of this whole discussion. I ain't been in this motherfucker for a long. You asked me last time we spoke. You said, "What you got coming up?" And I said, "I don't know." You remember that, right?
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
on your channel.
Okay.
What I'm
Okay.
saying is
Mhm.
the premise or pretense
Okay.
that, oh, if you just leave Dennis alone, the shit he's saying and the people he's saying it to, and that narrative will just go away,
Okay.
is wishful thinking.
Okay. Okay. This is the way it works for me, right? This is the way it works for me. Okay. We got all these people, all your subs, all the folks that are attached to you, right? Okay. The stuff that's important to them, guess what they're gonna do? Because you're a content creator, right? They're gonna send you shit, right?
Right.
And the stuff that's important at the top of their list, that's what they send you. Okay. So that's what I respond to. They'll go at first they sent Dennis's shit, right? Okay. We looked at it, we examined it, we talked about it. We talked about it, Ed talked about it, Charles talked about it, okay. And after that, they stopped sending us Dennis's shit. Okay. In other words, to the people that we're involved with, he's not important. But Shay Sade, regardless of what you think about him, Sister George, it's Concrete Rose, those kind of people, basically because they're using the women to actually attack us. Okay. Because Pearly upsets the women, okay, and the women get on their rants and influence all the other. Because most now, what is all the women, all the female content creators coming together, right? They're adjacent to the space, all in this one accord, right? You're trying to stop this kind of shit because you know that's what's going to happen. That's what's happening right now, okay. And now that's the shit that I'm getting, okay. Six the Goddess, Danica, okay. Shay and all these other kind of female content creators. Okay, that's what I'm getting right now. That's what I respond to. I haven't even seen a Dennis video pop up in at least 2-3 weeks.
I mean, but that's the algorithm. What I'm saying is, what you're saying suggests.
I'm talking about what people send me. Okay,
I got you. So that's fine. So what I'm saying is, it would seem to me in the Shay Sade example, you're worried about her or any other female content
creators, yeah,
getting thrown out of the space, as opposed to the image and the optics of what the space is about being tossed to the left by people like this. I don't, because again, it's not about him, but people like him, right? Right, because it's not worth it. Because the two things are happening, right? What she's saying is, I guess, kind of not exactly what he's saying, but it's similar. But you rather rock with the white girl, so you saying, okay, let me talk to her. And you did a video about her, which she wasn't present. I watched the video,
and I did a video with her.
And you did a couple, right? No,
I did one.
Oh, one. Okay, I maybe she split it up. But my point is, your concern with addressing her is, let me talk to her before motherfuckers boot her out. Yeah. But the other thing is, people are looking at the Manosphere a certain way, and then this dude with this large following is adding to that narrative. But let's ignore him because somehow he's gonna burn out, and his message, nobody's gonna pay attention to it.
By size or just by his frequency? Which one are you rating it? Because Phil Scott, O'Shea, there's a bunch of others. Like Phil Scott got 1 million. Okay.
No, I understood. I'm just saying this is a Manosphere adjacent. But
some of the women have way more.
But are they saying what he's saying? I'm talking about Manosphere adjacent women.
Yeah,
are they?
Yeah, some of them
are. And we challenge them.
Huh?
Because I've jumped into Sister George's stream where she was doing the same thing. I've jumped on her stream, is in the video. Right, and I challenged them shits right in there. And you're defending just curly things, and y'all.
We addressed them when they did it the first time.
Right,
they've done it.
And I didn't. So let me explain to you. I didn't address them because I thought they were going to get kicked out the sphere. that
Yeah, I want to pause it right there, but yeah, they're just bickering. It's just some niggas is bickering, and I don't put most of that on Marcus. I put most of it on BGS. This is what this nigga does, and I'm gonna end this video in a second because this is like I'm recording this live as they're speaking about it, or as they're dialoguing over whatever the fuck they're talking about. But yeah, they're just fucking just bickering for no real reason. This is like they call it the Black Manosphere, but the last time I checked, manhood isn't about niggas just bickering back and forth. I try to keep that shit to a minimum. I know there are certain niggas you have to fucking like give a little tongue lashing to. I had to do that with a cousin recently over fucking Facebook Messenger. Nigga, I haven't seen this nigga in over 10 years. So I get the idea. Sometimes you gotta let niggas know what time it is. But these niggas are just, they've been bickering for fucking, I don't know how long, because I stumbled across their content by way of Gigi, Green Gorilla, and then through Green Gorilla, I stumbled across Marcus, Keep It 100, the guy in the top left-hand corner, or the host of the show. You know. So I stumbled across these guys, and I just noticed like all these niggas do is bicker. And think about it, I stumbled across these niggas through the whole Kanye situation. Like I just saw like these Manosphere niggas are just defending this nigga's stupidity just because he's a black man with money. But I'm not gonna get into that. I may even go back to that video and cover my back and forth with Marcus and BGS and GG, because these niggas like they like to grandstand and bicker, most of them. So but I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep this going because we're already at, let me see, damn, we're at an hour and 16 minutes. And I know that I'm just covering this because I want to give you a sample of what I would like to do, like give like some type of analysis of this Black Manosphere, at least to the best of my ability. I'm not the smartest guy, so I would like to cover this shit, but this is just like a snippet or a taste, like to see my view on what I see and how I view this, air quote, gotta put the air quote, this movement. But let's just continue. Oh,
I don't really. I mean, if motherfuckers
You
don't
did.
fuck with them, it's not really my concern. My
You did.
thing
I
was,
did. You did. I did.
no. I'm speaking for me now. I'm not
Okay.
saying that you need to think or operate as me. I'm just saying that when I did that, it wasn't necessarily for the reasons you did. I challenged them the same way I would challenge anybody else, and for the same reasons you're pushing a lie into the air, and I'm challenging that lie. I'm not worried about who dudes decide to throw in the trash, including just pearly things, right? I am challenging that you're lying on us, right? So I don't care who is lying on us. I'm going to challenge that lie. And I think it's worth it to do that, especially when people are listening. If Dennis had 2,000 subs, nobody would give a fuck. But people listen to Dennis. So if he's lying, the lie should be challenged in the same way it would be if any woman, or white or black, is saying it. And that's the point that I'm making. And I'm not saying it's your job alone to do that, or that you got to police the waters or anything like that. What I'm saying is, if a lie unchallenged becomes the truth, right? So then what happens is, motherfucker, y'all created this bitch, right? And then, then we got to live with that, in that reality of people believing that bullshit. That's all I'm saying here. And it's like, well, it ain't worth it to say this or that. Okay, cool. But just understand that the results of that choice, you got to take the L.
Okay.
You got to live with that.
Okay, we'll live with it. We had before.
Okay, so we can move on.
Look,
Long as you said it.
Hey,
long as you said it, you know.
hey, I speak out.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just a nobody, but I speak out.
Okay.
When big shit hit, I speak out.
Okay.
You cannot say I don't.
So Adrian Hicks says, to make my position clear, when I speak about the manosphere, I say we, because this space is too important for that type of separation. BGS is highly looked upon and respected in space. Use that. Understand this, right? Me and BGS are speaking right now. We agree most of the time. Once in a while, we don't agree. I don't got to shoot at this man. Him shooting at Uru that night, I'll light a cigar and let them go at it. Like, I can sit. What's up?
I want to ask you a question. Okay. When has the Black Manosphere ever had a good reputation outside the space?
Oh, I don't think that there will ever be a time, but
I want to pause right there. He pretty much said, hey, when he asked when has the Black Manosphere ever had a good reputation, he's pretty much accepted a bad he's accepted the role as a agent provocateur, or the role of someone who's deserving of disparagement, or just of a group. Like, he's accepted that the Black Manosphere will have a bad reputation no matter what they say, and I get that to a large degree. But we have to go back to the root, or the beginnings, of what you would call Black Manosphere, whatever the fuck you want to call it. For me, it goes back to Ishmael Reed. Ishmael Reed was like the first Black man that I saw stand up for us. He was the first one to really, like, when you bring up Ishmael Reed, we're going back to like the 90s, man. We're going back in time. I think the first time I saw Ishmael Reed was maybe 91, 92, around that time. So, and I'm bringing this up to say, this whole thing that he's pretty much accepted, or he's found solace in the fact that the Black Manosphere, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, will always have a bad reputation. That's not true. Ishmael Reed was a very upstanding man. No, like, Ishmael Reed had a critique of this thing that we call Black misandry, because it all started back in the 80s and 90s. And Ishmael Reed was like very, dignified and intellectual and all that other stuff. And he didn't have a bad reputation. If he did, he would have been called out immediately, But yeah, but this guy, and this goes back to why I keep pausing, is because this guy wants to keep this infighting going. It's something that he gets a joy out of, or he gets monetary compensation. But let's continue. And I paused and interjected because I want to stress the fact that whatever this thing they call the Black Manosphere is, it doesn't have to have a negative connotation. It doesn't have to be toxic. It could be healthy. And that's why I brought up Ishmael Reed, because he's like the root of a lot of this stuff. And we also have to give shout out to Shahrazad Ali. She was one of the first to call out this problem, and she was dignified, and she didn't have a negative reputation. Not the way BGS is alluding to in this dialogue, or this conversation they're having right now. He's pretty much settled and accepted the fact that whatever he's doing will have a negative reputation. And it doesn't have to be that way, because it's about his execution. It's about all of their execution. It's very haphazard, and it's unhealthy, and it's counterproductive. But let's continue.
I just think that at the end of the day, the people who represent, like, if I had a bigger channel and motherfuckers, Manosphere, keep it 100. then I would be saying the things that I'm saying need to be said. It wouldn't change. And I'm not saying that you have to do as I do. When I'm just pushing my point that somebody has to do this, even if you're saying, you know, you're saying, well, they're gonna have a same opinion of us anyway. It has to be said because people are pushing propaganda in the opposite direction, so it has to be challenged.
I got PhDs to support. Okay,
that's all I'm saying.
I got classes I got to do for my Patreon. I got content I got to make for myself, keep my channel going.
So there's no time to address
everything. So basically, you know, this is a nuisance, okay, that will probably burn itself out within another, like it did the first time, within another month. She's gonna move on. She's gonna be part of the white manosphere. It'll be into that. Okay, and everybody.
We talking about Pearl?
Pearl, yes.
Well, I think it's gonna be worse than that. I think it's gonna be a whole lot
right.
worse.
But what I'm saying is, you know what's funny? You know what's funny about the things that people say, like, you know, when you say, well, you know, well, I think this is important to be addressed. They'll tell you, like what you did just now. You said, well, I got to do this and this and this and this and this. Mind you, how long has this Pearl thing been going on?
About 3 weeks.
How many videos I got on this YouTube where I address Pearl?
I don't know. I think one.
And her name ain't even in the title. I think the other video that I have with her name in the title is where I actually address Sister George about her comments about Pearl and us weaponizing Pearl against Black women, which is a sisterhood argument. And especially when she herself is Manosphere adjacent, I felt that I needed to challenge it, not because, you know, I got to stop living my life or I got some kids here that's going to go hungry. They want some raviolis. And I'm like, yo, wait, I got to address Sister George before y'all motherfuckers eat. But because I challenge bullshit, keep it 100, right? So whether it's her, anybody else, I decided, okay, because I'm on this motherfucker, I'm going to speak on that. I spoke about that. It wasn't Pearl centered. It was about Sister George. The only time I've addressed this controversy on my channel is Kappa Phi Kappa. That's it. That's it. And it's called Kappa Phi Motherfucker. Like, word, you talked about Pearl on that? Because I don't play the algorithm games where if I put Pearl's name in title, I'll get all these views. I understand how that works. I think that, you know, is the reason why a lot of guys are here. I'm not hating on nobody for using those strategies. Of course, if you're online, you don't want to be talking to 2 people. You want to talk to 200. But at the end of the day, I thought that is a subject worth my time, whether I'm doing shit or doing nothing. Right. Because I thought that shit was corny. And to be honest, I disagreed with a lot of people in this space on that shit. And I didn't think that it was worth the time to argue with y'all, but not because you guys were pushing the lie that I needed to challenge. It just was a difference of opinion. Okay. Now I've been on a couple of other people's streams with you, a couple even with you, where I've given my stance on it. But my stance, my opinion is not as important to the grand scheme of things than challenging bullshit narratives.
I mean,
you understand what I'm saying?
I've been doing this for 2 weeks, man. I've challenged it. I put evidence up there. I've broken down video on it. I show what it is. I've talked about it, man. I've challenged this shit from a number of different people, not just.
No, I don't want you to think I'm attacking you or saying that you didn't do that. If you say that you did it, then I believe you.
Why this particular person though? I've did it for a number of people. Okay.
I believe you, not because I mean he's the person that I see that I'm not hearing dudes clap at. But again, if you say you clapped at him, I believe you don't have to. BGS, if you tell me you said it, back to that. Right, I don't want to go. Yeah, if BGS, if you say you did it, I believe you.
Okay, all right, okay. Yeah, but
right. So I'm not still, you know, coming at you with the.
How come you haven't doing this? How come you haven't doing that?
No, I'm not talking about you, BGS. I'm saying this in general, this space. If not, it's not just about you. If the respected men formed Voltron out this motherfucker and said and made a statement, right? It doesn't matter who we can't stop from building YouTube channels and this and that and the other. You guys are statesmen
Who are the
in
respected men?
this space.
Who are
No,
the
hold on.
respected men? Who's the respected
Huh?
men? Name the respected men that need to come out and say something.
Name the circle. Name the circle.
I named them earlier. I said, hold on. I said the names I always see come up are you, Gigi. I know Dr. T Hassan ain't, because this is not his bag, right?
I told him to stay out of this.
He's not. I wouldn't encourage Dr. T to speak on it because that's not what he's here for.
I told him expressly, stay out of this bullshit because that's what it is. Bullshit. Don't get your shoes dirty. Say the same thing,
because
this is bullshit.
He's a
Yeah, I have to pause it right there. Excuse me. You heard what he said. He mentioned Hassan Johnson. I think I already covered Hassan earlier. I know I spoke on Hassan. And look what he says about Hassan Johnson. Hassan Johnson is a PhD professor at Fresno State University. He's most likely tenured. And this old fuck told Hassan Johnson, who should be a leader in this so-called manosphere space, he should be an intellectual leader, but he's telling him to stay out of things like checking a white girl on her I would call it racism, but I don't know for sure because I've only seen clips, but she used a lot of racist talking points. And he's telling Hassan Johnson to stay out of this. This is Hassan Johnson's job. All the black scholars in the 60s and 70s and 80s, they got their hands dirty. Like, for example, Huey P. Newton is known for starting the Black Panther Party, but people don't know that Huey P. Newton has a PhD. Huey P. Newton is a doctor. We really should call him Dr. Huey P. Newton. That's what we should call him. But of course, his legacy took a different course due to the Black Panther Party. But my point in bringing up Huey P. Newton is there was a lot of people, especially in that baby boomer generation, who went on to get high, or not high, but they went on to get advanced degrees, and they didn't stay out of the fray. You know, they all involved themselves in black people issues. I mean, let's look at Khalid Muhammad. Khalid Muhammad graduated, I think, from Pepperdine University. He didn't have to get his hands dirty. He could have just went on to get a job somewhere and just chilled out and had a family. But he got his hands dirty. But you got this old fucker right here saying that a PhD professor with tenure shouldn't step up to straighten out some of the mess he helped create. Because I like Hassan to a large degree, but it's just he says things that just throw me off. Like, if he ever hears this, or if anybody ever hears this, I don't know. The thing that turns me off about Hassan Johnson is like he's too much doom and gloom. It's too much of that shit. We know this shit is fucked up, but I don't need to hear that shit every goddamn day. Who the fuck wants to hear like the world's coming to an end every goddamn day? Nobody. That shit reduces your brain cells. That shit fucks up everything. Because I can remember the last video I watched of his, and he talked about black male life expectancy and how, you know, it's shorter than everybody else's. And yes, there's a lot of truth to that. But he tried to make a link between black male shorter life expectancy and their wealth level. And that's not totally true. Rich niggas die every fucking day. But bottom line is, I'm bringing that up to show like why I kind of tuned him out. It's like he's too much doom and gloom, and he's too smart for that. or he at least his pedigree should be used for a better reason than just to sit up here and complain about shit. But this guy right here, BGS Igmore, to get back to him, and when he mentioned, leave Dr. Tiasan Johnson out of this, it's like he's not even strategizing with wisdom, the wisdom he should have as an old fuck. Nigga, of course Tiasan Johnson should join in and enter the fray and inject some intellectualism or something that can really shift the power dynamic between, black males and black females. At least have a healthy dialogue. When I say shift the power dynamic, I mean shift who has the most, attention, who can actually shift this conversation to get it on a right course. But no, this guy pretty much wants Tiasan Johnson to sit back and just collect super chats and shut the fuck up and enjoy this little gravy train while everybody else has to suffer and just, and just be miserable. It's whatever. Let's continue. This shit is like exhausting. Hold on.
The guy whose hands and shoes we need to stay clean. As you said when you jumped on here, I ain't shit, right? I don't give a flying motherfucker, right?
Well,
right.
You can take a hit or two, okay?
Right. So I
can take a hit or two.
What I'm saying is I seen you in battle. I've never seen T. Hassan in battle, and that frankly, that's not what he's here for. He's here to educate. He's here to educate. So I wouldn't hit up T. Hassan and be like, hey, T. Hassan, why you ain't saying this and that and challenging and that? That's not what he's here for.
Okay. If he's not here to engage opposition, then why is he here? Just to ramble? Because what he does is he has access to things like JSTOR, most likely LexisNexis, and a bunch of academic websites that he most likely gets for free through his job. Because that's his job, to read articles and journals and just stay abreast on topics. And that's what he does whenever I've watched him. He just brings up information that he uses to discuss certain topics. But what good is that shit if it's not crystallized to something that could actually become like a learning tool? Like, let me give an example or a comparison. I like Tommy Curry. Tommy Curry's cool with me, man. He is the epitome of what the man or this black manosphere should shoot for. Somebody who actually puts in the work and gives you a product that you can really digest. Like, I read The Man Not. That's a very dense read, and it's very I've paused from that book because it's the truth, but it's very taxing. But that's neither here nor there. But to do the comparison between Tiasan Johnson and Tommy Curry's entered the fray. He's not scared. Why get all this education if not to use it to settle matters in the black community, especially if that's your profession? Because he's not. Tiasan Johnson isn't a PhD engineer. He's not a PhD chemist. He's not a PhD. Let's give another field. He's not a PhD botanist. He is pretty much a PhD in liberal arts and humanities. This is his job to enter the fray. And to get back to Tommy Curry entered the fray so hard that this brother had to leave America. He had to go to Scotland, I think. I think it's Edinburgh, University of Edinburgh. He had to leave America. So what? Tiasan Johnson's too scared. That's what it is. No, that is his function, to enter the fray. It's not his function to get online and get on different panels and talk shit like I may do or anybody else. I'll admit that much, but it is his job to enter the fray. It's not his job to cower into the corner and just make random videos about black male life with no real solutions that he's really pushing for. Because to Tiashawn Johnson's credit, I think he does have like a 10-point plan on what black males want to address, but he just puts that up on a website and shit. And that's it. Man, it's like, okay, you got a website. What's she gonna do next, man? But let's continue, man.
What I'm saying is, the point is this.
Okay.
You got a gun, I got a gun, Gigi got a gun, Ron got a gun. We all got guns.
Yeah, and
we all got guns.
Ronald, I would told him to stay out of it, but he actually addressed it. He actually did a video on this stuff.
Who's that?
Ron O'Neal.
Yeah, Ron don't give a fuck.
Akeisha Free Space. He actually did a
Ron is the PhD that don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
Gigi, my man, but I would argue that Ron give less of a fuck than Gigi do. And that's not to take anything away from G, because G shoot when he ready to shoot. Yeah. That motherfucker shoot for 3, 4, 5 hours at a motherfucker if he feel like it.
But who are the respected men in the space that need to address this stuff?
He said Adrian. I just named him. Adrian Hicks says BGS has a lightsaber.
Yeah, I do.
So cut the motherfuckers, man.
I did.
It's worth it.
Well, the thing is it works this way, man. It works.
I'm fucking with you at this point, man. I believe you.
It works this way, man. The thing is, the people that fuck with him, right? Okay, and they still gonna fuck with him, even if you cut them off, even if you disavow them, even if you push them to the side, people still gonna fuck with him. Okay, you can't stop that.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, he says he's not Manosphere. You are, and so it makes more. It coming from someone who is again tied to the space. It doesn't matter. The objective is not to get people to not fuck with Dennis. People, if they are entertained by Dennis, understand that everybody that watches Dennis doesn't necessarily believe Dennis, but a lot of them do. But it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Just to get and you said you did it already. I'm not telling you to do it if you said you did it or suggesting that you do what you already did. I gotta say that.
Okay. Make your point clear, because I'm not getting it. Okay?
No, but I've been saying that. But
but it's not clear to me.
Going back to it.
Right. I've said it a dozen times.
Okay,
like,
well, then let it go. Then
let it go.
No, but you asked me.
No. Just say you addressed it and move on. Okay.
I said that too. I said
no, you didn't. You can go back.
Do you see why I said this is exhausting? These niggas bicker like bitches, nigga. They bicker so much that it becomes exhausting and it's laughable. That's why Bitter Truth covered his face. It's like this is like really like, what are we doing here? And this is what they do. From what I've seen from a distance, it's just sit up here and just bicker and just go back and forth over nothing. There's no progress. It's just bickering. They're like bitches.
Bay, did I not say this? I said, yo, I believe you, and now the chat wants us to move on.
That's what I want.
But you asked me to name the guys, and I did. I said, yo, we got guns out this motherfucker, and I also
because you brought it up. I didn't bring them up.
No, I didn't. No, but you.
Yes, you did.
It's not about why you asked me the question. I was answering the question.
Okay, all right.
That's all I was doing. But then you're saying I'm taking it back there. I'm just
getting confused.
Hey.
Nah, we good.
Wait, listen.
Oh, here we go.
Listen,
all right.
You don't give a fuck. I'm not in this shit. I'm a free agent. I give a fuck.
Okay.
I see the problems.
Yeah.
I see the problems, and I see the problems come back and bite y'all in the ass.
No, good. We're good. We get bit in the ass all the time.
And
we'll move on.
I just call out.
You know what? I'm gonna say this, man. When I got there was nothing here, right? And all the fuck shit that goes on in this space, we moved from nothing to prominence to where we have a mic, okay? Against all odds. It will actually continue. This is
Okay, let me pause it. He just said, you know, we went from nothing to prominence. What he means is what I've said several times. What he means by prominence is having the ear of young men and also the financial benefits or the monetary gains from just rambling online. Like, I'm not here to do that. I'm not here necessarily just to ramble online so I can get your money and your attention. I don't give a fuck. If you want to donate, of course, I'll say it again. $ Parraw 1411. Hit up your boy. But that's not something I will use to continue to spread confusion, and cause more problems. So when he says prominence, he's essentially saying, hey, I want to continue this money train. And I can't knock the hustle necessarily because I grew up in the Bay. We don't knock hustles because we know every little bit counts, and it's hard out here for many Black people to make a good living, not just a living, but a good living. So for him, what he means by prominence is pretty much he has a platform and he gets paid for it. Who doesn't want to get paid for something they enjoy doing? And you could tell he enjoys bickering and running his mouth, you know. But let's continue.
This is nothing compared to what went on in 2016 and 2018. Okay, it's nothing.
Shout out to Joe. He said we have this space has bigger fish to fry. I agree with that.
Yeah,
You understand what I'm saying?
But after this, we'll move on. Okay.
There's a lot of cleaning up that needs to happen.
It's been messy from the beginning. It's never been clean. It's never gonna be.
Yeah,
clean.
I was about to say. Listen, this space operates like an online barbershop. And can I hop in and say something right quick? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, this is disagreement day, so we was disagreeing. But Big Kev.
Yeah.
We're listening.
Oh, okay, yeah. But anyways, the problem that I have with like the detractors of this space is it's one thing if the criticism was like somewhat like genuine, fair, like, all right, cool, we could do a little bit better over here. But the problem with most of the detractors is that them claiming that this space is quote unquote toxic or is pushing the incel argument, it's like listening to a Browns fan, like a diehard Cleveland Browns fan, trying to go into all these convoluted reasons and conspiracy theories and rabbit holes because they just cannot accept the fact that the reason why the team isn't doing good is because the coaching sucks. That is what I think when I hear a lot of these people that have come out and harshly criticize the space when they make their talking points. I'm like, that's what I hear. It's similar to that. Like them saying that, oh, we're all just incels, or we only talk about women and the space is toxic. And it's like listening to a Browns fan basically say that, oh, the reason why the Browns didn't win is because OBJ farted or Baker scratched his ass the wrong way, and that's why the Browns couldn't win. It's like, no, the reason why you guys don't win is because your coaching sucks. It's like, it's not that deep. Like, your coaching is trash, you know it's trash, and you're more so mad at the fact that people have the balls to call it out than the people that actually are bringing you harm. And I think that's the real reason why this space is so controversial, because we're just outright saying, listen, the reason why the so-called community is basically done for is because the leadership is trash, beginning in.
But I feel like BGS,
like the leadership is trash.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I mean, you know, he's making several sports references that Bay, you already know. No disrespect to you, Big Cat. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Right? Bay's like, yeah, right, yeah. And
leadership needs to take accountability. Y'all called out the leadership. You all have to be in unison. At the same time, you can take 2 minutes out of your day and make a goddamn YouTube short. Yeah,
we don't have to. We don't have to. We decide what's important to us. Okay?
But that's also true. But no, BGS,
that's your opinion.
The coaching sucks.
Well, then fine. But the team still wins.
No, but I mean, he said that already. He already said.
Okay, I paused that video because I joined. You know, I may refresh it so you can hear me talk. So, this live coverage. Hold on. Hey, let me check, see if my level's good. My level's good. My level's good.
What do you think that a United States reality where the system or the economy breaks down looks like as far as Black women's behavior in reference to us?
Like something like out of like The Last of Us, if you know like the video game and all the TV series like The Last of Us, struggling to survive and stuff like that, it would just be like say it would just be like a dystopian nightmare basically. That's what I mean.
I
For those of you guys,
don't mean that. I don't mean that fucked up. I don't mean Mad Max. I mean like if you ever been to another country where it functions, it ain't dystopian. If the
well,
economy breaks down.
well, I don't think it was going to happen immediately because you have to understand. How can I put it like this, right? A lot of their sense of moral supremacy over us is based off of this deeply misandrous environment and misandrous bent and mindset. Basically, their mindset is that anything fucked up that they do is in reaction to us, in reaction to what we did or didn't do to them or for them. You know what I mean? So that's basically their whole argument. Okay, what? How can I put it? How can I put it to you another way? Just like how white people use us as an excuse for why they're racist, they a lot of the gynocracy uses us as an excuse for why they are so dysfunctional. Oh, it's because we don't do this or we don't do
Yeah,
that.
because we ain't make their life soft enough.
Exactly. The problem is this. Okay, what they're wrestling with is this, and what's the blow to their ego is this, right? We've been hearing it for decades, if not centuries, about how the root cause of all their problems is because of us brothers, okay? And if we would just go away, all their problems would go away. The problem that they're running into is that not only when we do step back, when we do say, all right, fuck it, you know what, it's hopeless. When we do step back and then we do, stop messing with them, what the nightmare reality that they run into is that all the problems that they thought um, would go away by getting rid of us, they actually get more intense. Like the poverty, the mental illness, the negative exploitation, the apathy, all the things that they say that we were the root cause of got worse as soon as we stepped away. Okay, and what's happening is that they're not going to cooperate because it would be too much of a blow to their fragile egos. Their ego is too invested in using us as a scapegoat for all of their problems. So that's why I think like no, it's not gonna no. The only way that they're ever gonna come around is if you have to have like the great grandchildren of today's women basically seeing what those women were going through and actually, how can I put it this, accepting, knowing the history and accepting the truth and just accepting the fact that you know what, we fucked up, we failed, it's our fault, and basically they're gonna have to really hope that we're in a good mood to be able to really mess with them. But again, right now, no. Again, their egos are too invested in being quote unquote right. Like what Kevin Samuels and BGS said, fine language, shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. So that's what's gonna happen more so. Okay. Again, they fundamentally feel, keyword feel, like they're morally superior to us and that nothing they ever do is wrong or fucked up or, out of bounds. Like there's no such thing as them going too far or taking shit too far. Everything they do can be morally justified by either us being inadequate in some way, shape, or form, or
Right.
because of the legacy of slavery. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's not gonna happen the way that BGS thinks it's gonna happen, where these women are just gonna suddenly cooperate, but rather, again, what's gonna happen is that it's gonna take a fundamental, I think what Crimson Cure calls it, a biocultural event. I would say several of those, in order for people to really return to some semblance of functionality.
I'll throw something else in here, another variable, and first Ray S, and then I want BGS. What's stopping women from shagging up with each other? We already have, I think, the highest lesbian count of any demographic, right? Am I wrong about that? Am I off base?
You're actually right. It's about 30% now. Yeah.
Right. So we have the highest
Mm-hmm.
lesbian
Mm-hmm.
count of any demographic in America. So what's to stop them from shacking up with each other, right? To avoid bowing down to men who they see as beneath them. I
Mm-hmm.
think that in the same way that, yo, look, I remember I knew white guys who wouldn't keep a job if their boss was black.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that's every white person. I'm just saying I've seen it, right? They're like, fuck
Mm-hmm.
this. I'm not working for no niggas, right? I think that black women's pride is so
Mm-hmm.
that, and I'm not speaking for the majority or the greater minority. I'm just making a statement
Yeah.
that they will exercise every available option to not do the thing that you're saying, right? And of course,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that the women who are open to it probably have always been open to it, but I think that there's a huge contingency of women who are are extremely opposed to submitting to a man in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Reyes, you there? Yeah, I can hear you fine. Right. You be confusing the shit out of me with your origin story. But go ahead. I'm sorry cutting you off, man. I'm fucking with you, bro. Go ahead, man. Well, when they're younger, would you agree that that's not their priority? It's more about either a bunch of guys spending money on them or the niggas they like, and they kind of, I think black women kind of sow their oats in their younger years with niggas in a way that kind of men do, and then they get older and then ready to settle down. Like they're very like much like men nowadays, where it used to be the woman wanted to get married now, and the men was like, hold up, let me get my life off first. But now the women are like that, where they want to sow their oats first before they fuck with niggas. So you saying that guys with like exorbitant incomes, they have all achieve or greater numbers achieve the submission? Because I mean, again, Kevin Samuels, proved that. I mean, he even spoke on the guys in that income bracket don't even want these chicks because they don't act like you're describing.
It's
You're
true.
talking about a different generation of women. So what income level are you talking about? Give me a range. Nah, man, give me
Yeah,
an
you got
give me
to,
an
got
income.
to,
Yeah, you
got
got to, bro.
yeah.
Because you said ultra rich. I didn't say ultra
No, we
rich.
got to give an income bracket.
So you talking about selling meat? How much the guys selling meat make? I, I like Ray S, man. I like fucking yo. I wish you came here more often because I have my best moments. I have my best moments with Ray S. But go ahead,
Because I hear this argument all the I hear this argument all the time.
right, no doubt. You got it.
I said I hear this all the time. The thing is, if you look at the numbers, the math ain't mathing. We say this all the time, but the
Right.
math ain't mathing. And nobody has a plan on how to get these move these guys from where they are to where you want them to be. Nobody has a plan. Sure, you can. Yeah, but think, okay, then give me a range. Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Okay. They're hustling. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay.
So
What percentage
so
of guys you think can actually do this? Yes, you got it. That matters. In other words, okay, seven, only 17% of black men, single black men, earn over $50,000 a year. 17%.
so the next well, let's say they did that. Let's say we lived in a perfect world and that happens.
Mhm.
We lived in a
Yeah.
perfect black utopian
Egalitarian, equalized,
right,
everything across the board was fine. Yeah.
right. Well, so let me ask a question, right? How many of those
Okay,
17, what is it? You said
that's me
17%
live
make
on
that
air.
that money?
Yeah,
I got to get my 2 cents.
17% of
I'm
single
about to
black
get off
men
because it's late.
make over
It's
fifty
going
thousand
on a
dollars a year.
long time.
50,000. Well,
Yeah,
he's talking about you said
five hundred
500K,
thousand. Yeah.
17.
Hmm. Yeah.
So you're saying because you said some of these guys make 300 to 500K.
Hmm.
No, well, no, he said that.
Yeah. He said that.
He said that. So Reyes, are you telling me that in order for us to get our women to cooperate with us, we gotta make a quarter to a $500,000? So it would be it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. It's always the boomers.
Right.
Always the boomers.
Right. Right.
Always the boomers.
Could we? Yeah. Could we? Okay.
Hmm.
So, right. Okay. So this is a good point for what black men need to do
Hmm.
as a collective, but
Hmm.
it's a very bad point on how to earn black women's submission. I mean, personally, personally, I don't think a bitch submission is worth quarter to a $500,000. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like quarter to a $500,000 just to get you to shut the fuck up. Like, understand? No. I'm talking about the group too.
When black men as a whole, as a group, earn as a group earn that
So
kind of money,
so
that
over
percentage.
so right. So you basically need the majority of men to make
Hmm.
300 to $500,000 in their salary for the collective of black women to get off the bullshit. That's what it sounds like to me because
That's
you're
what we're
saying
saying.
what we need to do is we need to come together and collectivize and okay, okay.
Hmm. We need to
Of
speak
course
to
they
the
were.
majority though. Speak to the majority though. That's what we're talking about. Now we'll get into it.
Still not the majority.
Go ahead. And you know, you guys go on and on and on, man. You got a story, man. You got a story.
Where my cigar at, man?
Yeah, no, no. What I'm saying, we bottom line, bottom line. Bottom line.
So, let right. Reyes. Let me tell you something. Let's put all bullshit aside. I'm taking gloves off now. All right. It's black women, black Americans, women culturally do not respect their men. I don't give a fuck how much fucking money you have. Okay. There is no other group of men in this country that are required to do any of this wild extra shit. Okay. These are Amiri arguments, bro. Right? To the point, yeah, I'm saying names. To the point where it's like, yo, like, what kind of fucking kings and dignitaries do niggas need to become for basic shit? This is basic shit. This is the argument of the white people tell you, well, if you speak well and you're educated and you wear a suit and you tilt your hat like this, then we won't shoot you. Everybody's telling niggas what they need to do to be respected, right? But then hold on. I just want to finish. I want to finish this point. I'm gonna keep it short. The Asian man ain't held to that standard. The Latino man ain't held to that standard. Like, I think, if I'm correct, BGS is you stat man in here right now. I would say that black men on average make more than Latino men.
They do, yeah.
Right. So you don't see them chicks talking about, papi, you're not making enough money. I can't respect you. Right? That shit ain't happening in the Latino community. The motherfuckers, there's no what you calling this ecosystem of serious finances happening to where the bitches just fall in line so they can live their soft life and just lay up while you out there doing big dog shit so that you can come home and eat a fat steak and all this extra shit. Look, we not even on the bottom of the totem pole financially in this country, but we have to do the fucking most just for the bitch to smile at a nigga. To quote Kev. To quote Kev. Nah, man, come on, bro. If you say it 3 times, you gotta say no homo. I said 3. You say it 3 times, you gotta say no homo. But continue, brother. No, we talk like that here. Go ahead. It's too late. I understand where you're spinning with this.
Okay.
If men do
Bam.
Let him finish. Let him finish. Let him finish. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Happy life, happy wife.
Fam. If you're gonna do it, do it for your own benefit.
Hey, let him finish. Let him finish. Let him finish. And they never did. They never did. They never did.
Hey, like
There's a
Jason.
bunch of them that never die. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't,
Why
I don't,
do we have to go through this stuff? Why do we have to go through that? That's what he's
I don't.
trying to say. Why do we, nobody has to go through this stuff
No,
except
but
us.
it's not just that BGS, but also I just don't understand why niggas still think that money is gonna get these bitches to act right. It might get you. No, I'm saying income. If you build it, the
It's
bitches
called
to act right.
it's called training. The break didn't happen during the boomers. The break happened with the silent generation, with the welfare. That's when the break started. It didn't start with us. Uh,
Bring
you
somebody
don't
else
know.
in here.
You don't know. No, you don't. I was a kid. I was a kid. I was too. I was a kid. I was a kid. I'm a boomer. I'm a boomer, man. I saw it. I was a kid. I saw it. You weren't. You're not a boomer. Okay. Mhm. You, you, you know what you know what the silent generation, you know what the goddamn silent generation women told their girls? Don't be like me.
Right.
They don't be, that's where it's that's my I know, I know how I know. My mother did that. My aunts did that shit. That's how I know. That's where it started.
Absolutely.
That's where they start. That's where it start. That's why you don't have wives, sir. That's Gen X. That's Gen X.
But
Well,
it
you
comes
didn't
from
let me finish
something.
mine. Exactly. It wasn't even a left hook. No, it had nothing to do with that.
You
I'm a
niggas
you
need to
no,
let go of this
I'm
color purple
you
bullshit.
I'm gonna
That's
tell
soft
you
story bullshit.
I'm gonna tell you
Let it go.
I'm gonna tell you what they told them because they told it to my sisters, okay? And they don't want you to clean Miss Ann's house, okay? They want you to go to school and school don't depend on a man, okay? Because we're not dependable, okay? And get your education and get your own. They started that shit, okay? Silent generation. It wasn't the boomers that said that shit.
Okay, I
Okay,
think I'm gonna end this because you see I'm just
it
joining.
started
You
way
niggas
before
need to
that.
let go of this color purple bullshit, bro. That you're trying to go off of a
I'm
narrative
gonna
that
get
was
it in a
basically
second,
formed
but I'm gonna
by
In the
a
respond to
90s,
the
fictional
guy.
story based off of a woman
by a lesbian.
who abused and neglected her own daughter. Like this is fucking goofy shit. This is fucking goofy.
None of them. Okay.
The
That's okay.
exception doesn't make the rule.
In other words, I'm telling you what happened. I'm telling you. I'm telling you what happened and why it happened. Okay. Had not, y'all niggas and Gen X was still hitting their bitches when y'all came about. Y'all still was hitting your bitches. Yeah, you still were. Yes, you were. Stop. Yeah, yes, you were. Yes, you were. Stop. Well, you might have shunned, but things that was happening, it's still happening. Okay. The only things only thing that stopped it was O.J. Simpson actually stopped most of that shit. Okay, Yes, I did. Mhm. They have loose ends, not any more than the others. No. What about before that? Before the silent generation? What about okay? But so the white men have loose ends too. So the Latinas. So how come they didn't? How come the white women didn't do the same thing? Separate from the men and talk the same shit that our black women do. No, they did. No, they did. No, they don't. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. These- No, they. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, the if the defects in black people go all the way back to slavery. It's been there. It's been there. It's been there. It didn't start with us. Well, you don't have to go back. No, we don't have to stick. No. I don't have to stick. I don't have to stick. I don't have to stick to. I don't have to stick to nothing. 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 Okay. No. You trying to blame the boomers? It started before that. I don't have to let nothing go. No, we didn't. No, we did not. No, we did not.
Stop.
No, we
The
did not.
narrative is fucking goofy. It's fucking goofy. Listen. Like I said before on Bernard's Riley stream, if you are a student of history, there is no way in Satan's fucking left nipple you as a American brother should be still believing in this whole we need to reform or tone down our misogyny bullshit. Nobody's gone out of their no group of men have gone out of their way to be more accommodating towards women than us. Like niggas need to stop that shit. And what it is fucking ego. It's that like I said, like what Anderson said, it's that fucking Highlander syndrome. You know, oh, I'm that special Negro that's untouchable. Oh, you know, I can walk through fire and not get burnt. Like fucking stop it, bro. Stop it.
Okay. Okay. No. 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 So before that, how much money were we actually making back then? How much money were we actually making back then as a black community? No. This is your theory. No, this is your theory. No. This is your. You say money will actually bring them back, right? That's what you say, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes, you did. What it is. No. You now you're moving the money. You are moving the goalpost. Economics is money. Economics is money. Economics is money. Economics is money. Economics money. Trade is money, sir. Trade is money, sir. Trade is money. In this country is money. In this country is money. Okay. I economics is money. Okay. In this country. I do know about economics. You tell me. Tell me about the gold. Tell me about the gold system. Tell me about the gold system since you know more than me. What about the gold system? Yeah, exactly. You don't know economics. You don't know economics. No. In other no. No. So how are you gonna drag 80%? How are you gonna drag 80% of the people that actually make what you want to make? Explain it to me. No, motherfucker, I don't. No, motherfucker, I don't. I don't. No, I know, motherfucker, I don't. No, motherfucker, I don't. No, motherfucker, I don't. I want you to explain it to me. I want you to explain it to me. Explain it to me. Explain because you haven't explained shit. Explain it to me. Explain it. No, motherfucker, explain it to me. It's your idea. Explain it to me. Explain your shit. Explain your shit, motherfucker. Explain your shit. Explain your shit. Explain your shit. Running your mouth is not going to explain your shit. Explain your shit. Explain your shit. Explain. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, yeah. Spell it. Now all this secret shit. All this secret shit. All this secret shit. I can't explain. 'Cause I don't want to out on the air. Well, it doesn't mean anything. Don't mean nothing. Because your theory doesn't mean anything if you can't explain it.
What I missed a few things. I dropped out.
Yeah, motherfucker, I'm still talking. Well, then it's inadequate, then, sir. It's inadequate, then. Well, yeah, it's inadequate. Yeah, yeah, well, yeah, yeah, you're ignorant old young motherfucker, ignorant motherfucker. That's what you are. Yeah, you know you don't. Stop. No, you don't. No, no, no. You don't love me. Stop playing. Thank you.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Nah, come on, man.
Well, then don't bicker
But you
with me.
don't have to. You don't have to.
Uh-huh. You bastard, you know, yeah, 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 because this is real. This bastard. Bastard, we have made progress, mother bastard. We have made progress. Now, yeah. Why come you?
So
Well,
let me.
your
So
your
let me.
shit ain't
Hold
working.
on.
Your shit
Let
ain't
me.
working.
Hey, let me jump in here. Are we still on the get money and these bitches to submit
Yeah,
topic? Because I had
yeah.
dropped out.
That's what he's on. That's what he's on. Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah. I bring more solutions to this motherfucker than anybody. Than anybody. I bring more solutions to this space than anybody. No, I didn't radicalize nobody. I didn't radicalize nobody. I didn't radicalize nobody. I didn't radicalize nobody. We didn't radical. How to radicalize him? How to radicalize? How to radicalize him? How to radicalize? How to what how do I radicalize him? How do I radicalize him? What is radicalize? What is radicalize? What is radicalize? What is radicalize? I remember the interview. Radicalize. How did I radicalize him? Now, how did I radicalize him? No. How did I radicalize him? How did I? How did I? What is that? What is that? How did I? How did I? How did I? How did I? All this
Ray,
verbiage.
Ray,
All this.
you said he radicalized Kevin Samuels. He's asking you how, and you should no, but no, you got to tell us. We listening.
No, no.
I don't.
No,
But
no.
you in this is
How?
no,
How?
but there's an audience here. You got to
How?
flesh that out, bro. You
How?
got to, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I had a bunch. Which one?
You set yourself up.
No, nigga.
No, no,
He
but
was
come
on
on,
my
man,
channel for like four
bro.
years, man.
Let's get there. I'm interested. You got me invested, motherfucker. Like, tell him.
Thank you. Oh, you talk about okay. You talk about that one. Okay, that wasn't an it was that wasn't an interview. It wasn't an interview. But go all right, motherfucker. Please, bastard. What material? What material? What material?
It's about Jason.
No. The Vice Raider. Yeah.
Oh, you talking about
Jason
James Earl
Jones.
Jones? Okay,
Okay. Uh huh.
I thought you talking about Jason Black on this motherfucker.
Yeah. Uh huh. How? How? How was it toxic? How was it toxic? How was it toxic? How was it toxic? How was it toxic?
You got to substantiate some of this shit you're saying, bro.
Thank you.
No, you said you talking about which video is he talking about? BGS,
James Earl
the
Jones
James Earl Jones with the white
was an
woman.
interview, Myth of White Womanhood, right? Okay.
Right,
What it was
right.
for, okay? Actually demonstrate the myth of white womanhood, right? There's a series, all right? James Earl Jones has interviewed in 1968 about why white women were so uptight about black men, right?
Right, right.
That's what it was about. Had
I'm
nothing to do
familiar with it.
yeah. Remember that one? Okay.
Mm.
I was just reporting about this amongst other things. I actually put a whole series together, right? About why black women act the way they act, right?
Uh-huh.
Which is still being proven correct, okay? Even to this day. How's that toxic? Yes. How's it toxic? How is it toxic? That's not no. That doesn't why is it out of date? Why is it out of date and still happening? Why is it out of date and still happening? The myth they want to be Sergeant Willie Pete just did a video just what all right, man. All right, all right. Every nigga's a dumb nigga. Every nigga's a dumb nigga. Every nigga's a dumb nigga.
Ray.
Every nigga's a dumb. Everybody's
It's
toxic.
never a dull moment.
Yeah.
Ray yes. Yo, check Ray. So okay, so you're saying that James Earl Jones was toxic or that BGS was toxic? Just so I'm clear. No, let's not talk about his geographical location. What I want to understand is what did he say that that you're defining as toxic? Obviously, it's something that he said that had this great of an impact that we're discussing it today. So I'm curious. I've seen the video of James Earl Jones speaking. I think did he have a white woman sitting
The
next
white
to him?
one, his wife is white, yeah.
His wife sitting right there. And what I've seen that video before. So what I'm trying to understand is what was toxic about the analysis, because I've seen that video before. It's old. A lot of us have seen that video,
It's
right?
about 5 years old, yeah. 6
Right.
years old.
So what is it that what was his commentary on that video that you disagree with? Fuck how old he is and where he from and he gangbanging. Put all that shit aside. Yeah, put all that shit aside and paraphrase. So okay, so what? So is how would it be out of date if it's history? That's like saying George Washington being the first president is out of date. If it's historically true, then it's historically true. History doesn't change. So what did he say that he shouldn't have said? He shouldn't have said that this has been a problem. I said earlier in the podcast that this shit has been a thing. Like this stuff that we're talking about now has been spoken about. The relationship between black men and women has been a problem pre-internet, pre-red pill, pre-manosphere, pre all of this shit, right? And I made that argument to where I was kind of me and the BGS was debating about how much progress we've made, which I would say not really. We're just talking on the internet as opposed to on film. But what you're saying is that he shouldn't have made that analysis based on history because it's toxic. What makes it toxic? Did he lie? So that means it was a lie. So what I'm asking you, what did BGS say that was a lie? Out of date and a lie are not the same thing. I understand what you're saying. So, okay, I'm gonna try to work with you. I'm listening. I'm listening.
What?
You going off the rails. You going left.
No, you don't.
Nah. Fuck, man. Yo,
That knife in my back says you love me. Okay.
what
Man,
what
yeah, too
the
late. I know. Most do. Sorry.
bro, bro, listen.
Yeah.
Hey, bro. Hey, bro. I have not come any closer to understanding. Well, no, hold on. Let me finish the sentence. Now, you keep telling me that you about to make the point and then you don't. What if I, wa- I w- nah, bro. Listen. Hold on. Pointing out factual shit is never toxic, right? This is the Keep It 100 channel where we point out toxic shit as frequently as
I think I'm gonna end it
available.
right here.
What I'm saying to you is,
2 hours
he
and 30
said
minutes. I think I don't have
something
anything else to say
about
that you guys would think is worthwhile.
the video that was historically true. You said it's outdated.